In order to compete with Red Bull and Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell may receive fresh improvements ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin suggested that the team was working on adding basic performance to the vehicle ahead of the upcoming race. He also stated that the team hopes to make the vehicle perform on a wider range of circuits after suffering in several street races this season. Shovlin stated that the team suffered from riding difficulties in Monaco, which affected the driver's confidence to carry pace. He said that the difficulties made it more difficult to run the vehicle as near to optimal as they had done at a more conventional track during the Spanish Grand Prix, when the team noted an improvement in performance. This implies the Silver Arrows may struggle in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but they have stated that they are working feverishly on ideas to make the vehicle competitive ahead of the next event. Shovlin stated in a Mercedes debrief video, Baku might present some similar challenges. We're working on areas, though, to try and improve that ride, try and be able to run the car a bit closer to its optimal window. But we are well aware that in addition to adding base performance to the car, we've got to make it work over a wider range of circuits. So these are all things that we are busy with within the next week to prepare for Baku, but also longer term, because there are other challenging tracks that will come up. But all of those projects are being worked on really hard because the team and the drivers are desperate to get back to the front. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, said this week that the team had learned some important lessons about the vehicle throughout the Monaco weekend. He stated that this would be the foundation for improving the car's performance to compete at the front of the field. Despite the confidence, the squad has struggled on tracks with slow corners, suggesting that Baku will be another bad performance. In the worst-case scenario, with Montreal's Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve also featuring a variety of slow corners, Mercedes may struggle until the British Grand Prix in July. He also stated that the team anticipates making the car function on a broader range of circuits after competing in certain road races this season. Shovlin stated that the team struggled with riding concerns in Monaco, which affected the driver's confidence in conveying speed. He said that the issues meant it was more difficult to run the car as near optimum as they had done during the Spanish Grand Prix when the outfit noticed a boost in performance. George Russell, meanwhile, sits fourth in the driver's standings with 84 points. Lewis Hamilton, his teammate, sits in sixth place with 50 points, 75 points behind his arch-rival Max Verstappen. According to analyst Eddie Jordan, Lewis Hamilton is no longer the alpha dog at Mercedes. It has been an exceptionally difficult year for the seven-time F1 champion, who currently ranks sixth in the driver's standings with only 50 points. He is having his worst season since 2009, and any title hopes he had for this season vanish. Meanwhile, his new Mercedes colleague George Russell has made a strong start to his maiden season with the Silver Arrows. The 24-year-old has placed in the top 5 in every race this season, including 2 podium finishes. Hamilton has only finished on the podium once so far in Bahrain, and that was also the only occasion he finished ahead of Russell in 2022. This has led Jordan to speculate that following Hamilton's years of domination, Mercedes now has a new sheriff in town. Absolutely, I think the big surprise is everybody globally, in Formula One context, thinks that Lewis Hamilton is top dog, Jordan said. But he's no longer top dog, not even in that team, because Russell has taken his perch away. And I think it's very interesting to watch, and I want to see how Lewis is going to overcome that. Both drivers appear to get along well, and team manager Toto Wolff downplayed reports of a power struggle within the squad, saying he was pleased with both of his drivers. I hardly follow it, Wolff said, when asked what he thought of the noise around his team. And when I pick up 1 or 2 remarks, I can only smile about them. George is doing a good job, but that's exactly what we expected of him. That's why he's with Mercedes. The W13 no longer porpoises in a straight line, which is the most important improvement for the Silver Arrows. The team will now be hoping that the potential demonstrated does not fade as it did in Miami. When asked late last month about a better day for the squad, Hamilton responded, "Positive, super happy with the progress. A big thank you to everyone back at the factory for not giving up, continuing to push. We are not the quickest, but we are on our way. It is the first time I have driven down the straight without bouncing. We still have some bouncing, but it is way better, so we are starting to eke into a bit of the potential. It is still tough out there in the car, but it is much nicer than it has been before, so really grateful for those upgrades. Now it is just trying to tune them into the next session to try to position the car. I think we can get it into an even better position tomorrow, so hopefully we can tackle the heels of the guys ahead." While Mercedes has struggled with porpoising due to it continuing into the braking zones in the first 5 races, the absence of bouncing has allowed Russell and Hamilton to approach the apexes more aggressively. When Russell is asked whether he was satisfied with his teammate, Russell responded, "I don't know, to be honest, because in Miami we were quickest on Friday, and obviously here we are second. Let's see, the car is definitely reacting differently. We have different limitations this time. We definitely don't have the porpoising in the straight, which is good, but we are still experiencing a bit here and there in the corners, which ultimately you need to dial out in the corners. I think Red Bull still looks very, very strong. They look like the team to be reckoned with at the moment. We need to go through the data." After another tough day in 2022, Mercedes chief Toto Wolff defended Lewis Hamilton a few days earlier, slamming Fernando Alonso's holdup in the Monaco GP, while also saying the seven-time champion and George Russell are very much on the same pace. Hamilton finished 8th in Sunday's hectic, wet-dry Monte Carlo race, where he also qualified, as F1's most successful driver finished 6th in a row behind youthful teammate George Russell. Hamilton was first stymied by Esteban Ocon's Alpine, which drew a penalty for contact with the Mercedes, and then by Fernando Alonso, who steadily held Hamilton up around the small streets. He could have been right there and could have closed Lando, Norris 6th, or even fight with George 5th, and Lando at the front because that was his pace, Wolff said afterward. So far in 2022, Hamilton has bemoaned terrible luck, with safety cars losing him numerous points and his Monaco GP weekend disrupted by a red light in qualifying and then the Alpines in the race. When you look at the bad spells Lewis had, stuck behind Fernando today, the contact with Esteban, the red flag in qualifying yesterday, added Wolff, I think the pendulum will swing and this unlucky situation will stop with Lewis, as they are very much on the same pace. Hamilton is currently 6th in the driver standings, 75 points behind leader Max Verstappen. Late on Sunday night, he posted a message to fans on his Instagram stories as he stated, "I'm sorry I haven't given you any great results this year, but I won't give up. We win and we lose together." After a promising Spanish GP, Mercedes was way behind the pace of frontrunners Red Bull and Ferrari in Monaco, and their W13 was bouncing again, albeit this time it was considered to be due to the rough track rather than the porpoising of their floor. "I'm praying that the car doesn't feel like it does here, because here it has felt the worst it has so far with the bumps," said Hamilton. "My teeth and my jaw going the whole time. I am done with the shaking. Ours is so stiff that the suspension is driving it back into the ground. I am looking forward to some more open track, and I am praying that it is not as bumpy as here." Wolff, meanwhile, admitted Monaco presented more lessons for the struggling world champions. "At the moment, I don't want anything for us gifted," Wolff added. "Our team is only 3rd on the road, and that is why the positions of 5th and 6th are where we belong to. This is not where we want to be, and that is why, if you are inheriting a podium, it is nice. It is good for their points long term, but I don't want any of that. I want to be winning at the front, and this is going to be part of important lessons we learn here, and it is going to be the basis of us performing long term again." Do you think the recent upgrade by Mercedes will positively impact Hamilton and Russell's success in the coming race? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for staying with me till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Bye!